Good morning. It has come to my attention that you all are under the assumption that we are living off of a trust fund, but we are not. And today I am going to tell you what is boondocking. So let's get started. Okay, you guys, I understand that maybe you don't understand what public land means. If you live on the East Coast, you really don't, because from Colorado, most of the time, over to the East Coast, Central Coast, that land belongs to somebody. So you need to know a friend of a friend to be able to live on what we consider land, because it's all private land. But here in Colorado, on over, you have Utah, Nevada, as well as some places in Arizona. A lot of times Arizona is native land, so you have signs that kind of tell you where you can stay. Now, as you can see, this sign is not the typical sign I would like to show you, but it says public land on it and public land access. Now, as we sing around, you see our neighborhood, right? So that means that you can stay anywhere on this land for free. All right. So when we use the word boondocking, it's usually a slang for dispersed land. So if you go on any national forest website and you see dispersed land, that's code word for boondocking. Boondocking is really living on land, self-sufficient. And we're going to go back to the camper and I'm going to kind of explain to you what that means, because we're by the road, we got sheep across the street, we got cars passing by, we got people out, and I want you to be able to hear me. So let's get back to the camper. Okay, now I know you said I've seen people boondocking in Walmart. That is not boondocking. Yes, that is what it looks like to be boondocking or to be camped out in Walmart parking lot or at the Cracker Barrel. A lot of people do that at Cracker Barrel. And some of the differences between boondocking and at a campsite without sight is the roads. Okay, public roads are not maintained, right? So you got potholes, it's very bumpy. When you get around the corner, we'll show you some footage of the roads. The terrain can be extremely rough because they don't make it easy for you to squat, more likely. It's your land, but they're not going to pave the road and make it wonderful for you. Okay, so you see it's got rocks, it's got potholes. If you're towing a camper, you want to be careful of that. You want to go on your phone and you want to make sure you look at the terrain, right? Because the simple fact is, we've done that. We've picked this awesome site. On our way there, get there, and it's like 10 miles in and the terrain is awful. And I don't want you to say, oh, great, we can boondock here, and pick a place, get there, your flour, sugar, everything all over the place, and then you got a mess you got to clean up. And that's a bad way to start your time. So one of the things we do is we secure everything, but we check the roads, because this is a common thing all the way around, even to your site. And we will show you that when we get over closer to our site, the treacherous way that we had to get in there. But that's another one of the things from campsites. Even down the road, there is some forestry campsites. The road is well maintained and it has some bumpiness to it, but it's a lot smoother than this. And the difference between those slots that don't have hookups at all and these slots with no hookups is that you're assigned a space that's yours and the roads are better maintained. So that is one of the things that's the difference in boondocking and then regular camping without hookup. We had to hike back up the hill because we were down by the road. Oh my goodness. All right, so I just wanted to kind of show you the terrain. See this? That's our road right here. This is where you want to be careful. They don't make it easy to get back there, but we made it, right? And another one of the things I wanted to kind of tell you guys was the rig size matters too. Like that's about as big as I would pull in here. But as you can see over here, we have neighbors and they're a little small or around our size as well. We got a school leave. We have a couple travel trailers. And then we had some buses back there. But a lot of people just spend the night and get up and go the next day. Some of us are on vacation, so we stay a little longer. And some people just came to relax and enjoy the views. All right. And I'll drop some of the views in at the end of this video. Okay. And one other thing I wanted to tell you, why do we choose boondocking when I'm showing you all these things and that could tear up your rig? Staying in town costs money and it's expensive. Yes, you have the convenience of being able to walk everywhere and do everything, but staying out here, we have mountain views, as you can see right behind me. Super quiet. I like to do night shooting and we save money. It's free, right? And so when you guys watch our videos and you're like, oh, you guys are in this wonderful place and y'all are just doing all these things, it's because we live here. And when we leave here, we'll go someplace else just like this place. So we're really just paying for our, trying to catch my breath. We're at 10,000 feet elevation. And so when you're not used to that on a continuous basis, it does take your breath a little bit. So, okay. So what we're really paying for is just gas and food, right? And when we get back to the camper, I'll show you how we maintain being self-sufficient, because out here, there's no dumping stations. There's no potable water where you can fill up your rig and keep watering going. And those are things you need to know about your camper before you get out here, right? So if you're one of those people that had to take a pee-pee in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times, you need to know how long you can have your rig hold waste and your water, how long it will last you. That will determine how long you'll stay out here. Some people come with these gigantic drums full of fresh water and so on and so forth. So a lot of people know about this. On the East Coast, Central, there's no such thing. All the land belongs to somebody. So you have to know a friend who knows somebody that say you can stay on their land. But like I mentioned, on the West Coast, there are a lot of places that says your public land and you can stay, but this is the terrain you'll be dealing with. So the trade-off is you get to stay free, but you need to make sure that where you're going is going to suit your needs. There's one other thing that we need to look at, and that before we head back to the rig, so let's get up there. Okay, another thing about dispersed camping or boondocking, as they call it, as we call it, like I said, it's slang for RVers, is these posts. When you're in a area where you can park and camp on public land, you have these signs that say camping 14-day limit. Now, is there a camping police that show up and ask you how long you've been here? No, but have you ever had that neighbor that when they moved in, everything they own ended up outside? Where they're trying to avoid that. So they give you 14-day limit, so you can be here 14 days for free. And then you can move across the street if you want, or down the road if you want, right? So there's a limit on how long you can be here, and it's posted at different sites. Some say 7, some say 14, some say 21. It just all depends. So when you see these, you know that you can camp there. A lot of times at the station when you come in, there's maps. And the map will say, this is a tent site, this is an RV site, and it'll let you know where the sites are because there's maps. So you can go ahead on and find one of those maps, look at it, pick a space. As you can see here, there's no maps. We just have the signs kind of indicating where you can go, wide open field. And yeah, that's what it is. So you can enjoy yourself and stay for as long as you like. Plan your vacation around being here. Oh, as you know, these are not reservable. First come, first serve. So don't be surprised if you get there and you can't find a space and it's pretty full. So that's another thing about, doing a little research ahead of time. Also, there are Facebook groups that you can join, and people will give you coordinates to places. And that's how we found this place. I went on my Facebook group 2 or 3 days before we were coming here, and I was like, hey guys, we're going to Telluride. It's on our way back to Nashville. Do you know of any boondocking spaces? And they gave me several, and this was one of them. And so that is, we have so many neighbors, animal neighbors. So that is one thing I wanted to point out, that there is a limit, but at the same time, nobody's coming out here to check and to throw you out past 14 days. But usually nobody wants to stay here longer than that anyway. So now we're headed over to Journey. Okay, now our last little piece of how we stay self-sufficient. This little thing right here is your lifeline, okay? This is our propane tank, and it holds 7 gallons. We make sure we have plenty of propane. It's how we run our fridge. It's how we stay warm at night. And it is very, 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 very important. If you run out of this, you're screwed. You gotta go find some more because you need it. Now, that humming noise you hear is the other vein of our lifeline. This is our generator, right? So this generator powers the house. As you can see, the cord going from the generator to the house, okay? So if we don't want to use up all the propane, we come out here, turn this on, and this runs out of gas. So you make sure you have gas cans and propane. And that's how you live without traditional electricity or traditional campgrounds. Yes, we love to plug it in. And we love to have sewer and electric and water. But we also love the hikes. We love the views. We love the night sky. Look at that, you guys. Look at those mountains. All of that is a part of it. And I know you don't understand, because when you see us, all you see is videos, right? All you see is things we're doing and places we're going, and it looks like we're flaunting and we have all this money, right? And you guys are just living it up. We've learned to live simple and frugal and fun, right? Because you do have to have some money. You do. You have to have a little bit. But that money you have is precious, right? So you have to learn how to find places where you can live for free. Make sure you have your generator, you invest. We have one solar panel up top on the top of the camper. You can't see it. We'd love to have more, right? Because then we wouldn't need the generator as much at all. But you have the generator. We barbecue more than I like. We have the grills, and those go by the little propane tank. And we just live bare minimum, so we can enjoy it without the stress of having to find KOAs and campsites and paying for everywhere you go, because that does get expensive. I can tell you, campsites can get up to $40, $50, $60 a night. And if you go to an RV resort, it could be anywhere for like $100 a night. And we don't have that kind of money, right? So we come out here, we stay for free. We're not the only ones doing it. We have neighbors. And this is how we boondock, and this is what boondocking is. Boondocking is living on the land, self-sufficient, supplying all of your needs, and not depending on outlets and state parks and all those things, and you do it for free. The drawbacks are the roads are crappy, you know, first come first serve on the spaces. It can get a little sketchy out here sometimes, depending on where you are, depending on what animals roam around in the area. But that's when common sense, being smart, not hanging out, talking to people, talk to your neighbors. You know, a lot of these people vacation in this area, but they live here too, so they kind of know what's roaming around. You make friends and you live. So I hope that answers some of your questions of what is boondocking, or what am I talking about when I say boondocking. How are they living on the road? How are they doing all this? They must have some money hidden somewhere, or a pot of gold. We wish, but we don't. But I just wanted to help you have a peek into what it is that we're doing. And this is it. Now, if you're interested in finding out how do we do all these things if we're not using any money, how are we having all these activities and going on all these excursions and adventures, that's in part 2 of this video, and I will drop the link for that, or you can watch it right here, or you can look for the link right here, and that's going to be part 2 of this video, how to have a good time with $0. All right, you guys, thank you so much for making it through this video. Hit that subscription button and the notification bell. I need to start saying that at the beginning, but if you made it to this end, we're extremely grateful to you for watching it and taking this tour with us, and we hope to see you in the next adventure, because you never know where we might end up. Thank you. See you soon.